Human beings are the only creatures on Earth aware of their own expiration date. From the moment you are old enough to understand the concept of time, you live with the background noise of a terrifying truth. Eventually, the screen goes black. The biological machine that is your body will fail. Your heart will stop beating. Your neurons will cease firing. And everything that makes you you, your memories, your fears, your love, your consciousness, will simply vanish into the void. For thousands of years, we coped with this terror through religion, inventing afterlives made of clouds or fire. But in the 21st century, we have replaced religion with technology. We have stopped looking at the sky for salvation and started looking at the server rack. This is the promise of mind uploading, also known as whole brain emulation. It is the ultimate transhumanist dream. To scan the intricate web of your brain, digitize every neuron and synapse, and upload your consciousness into a computer simulation. In this digital world, you're free from disease, you're free from aging, you're free from death. You can live in a paradise of your own design, exploring the universe at the speed of light, existing for thousands, perhaps millions of years. It sounds like the next logical step in our evolution, a technological heaven. But there is a quiet horror hidden inside this dream. A paradox that suggests mind uploading might not be a way to live forever, but rather the most elaborate and expensive suicide method ever invented. Furthermore, if we do succeed, we might find that trading our biology for binary code subjects us to a new kind of hell, one where you don't own your soul, a corporation does. Today, we're going to peel back the layers of this digital fantasy. We will look at the impossible scale of the science, the philosophical nightmare of the copy, and the terrifying legal reality of becoming software. To understand why uploading your mind is so difficult, we first have to humble ourselves before the complexity of the human brain. We often use metaphors to describe the brain. We call it a biological computer. But this is a gross simplification. Your laptop is a machine of logic, designed by engineers. Your brain is a machine of chaos, designed by evolution. Inside your skull, there are approximately 86 billion neurons. Each of those neurons is connected to thousands of others, creating a network of roughly 100 trillion synapses. This map of connections is called the connectome. It is the wiring diagram of your soul. If mind uploading is real, this connectome is what we need to copy. But it's not just about the map. It's about the traffic on the roads. It's not enough to know where the neurons are. We need to know their state. The precise chemical balance of neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, at every single synaptic gap at the exact same microsecond. The amount of data required to represent a single human brain is estimated to be in the zettabytes. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the same amount of digital data that exists in the entire world right now. All the internet, all the videos, all the bank records, just to store one of you. So how do we get that data out of your head and into the machine? Current technology like fMRI is nowhere near precise enough. It sees the brain like a blurry weather map. To see the neurons, we need nanometer precision. This brings us to the first dark reality of mind uploading. The process will likely kill you. Renowned neuroscientists have suggested that to map the brain with the necessary fidelity, we cannot do it while the subject is alive. The brain might need to be chemically preserved, essentially plastinated, and then sliced into microscopic layers, scanned one by an electron microscope. Imagine the sales pitch for this procedure. You walk into a clinic. You lie down on a table. They explain that they are going to euthanize you, preserve your brain in resin, and slice it into confetti. But they promise you will wake up in the cloud. Would you do it? Would you trust that the thing waking up is you? This leads us to the most dangerous philosophical trap in the history of science, the continuity of consciousness. Let's assume the technology works perfectly. We scan your brain without killing you. We create a perfect digital simulation. Now, you are sitting in the chair. You look at the screen. On the screen, there is a digital avatar. It looks like you. It speaks like you. It has all your memories. It remembers driving to the clinic this morning. It remembers the smell of the coffee you had. The doctor turns to you, the biological you, and says, "Success! The upload is complete." But you are still sitting in the chair. You haven't gone anywhere. You are still trapped in your dying biological body. The thing on the screen is a copy. It is a separate entity. Now, the doctor pulls out a gun. He says, "For the upload to be you, we need to terminate the original." If he pulls the trigger, do you magically transport into the computer? Or does the room just go black for you, forever, while a digital imposter lives on believing it is you? This is the problem with treating consciousness like a computer file. When you move a file from your desktop to a USB drive, the computer doesn't actually move the physical electrons. It copies the pattern to the new location and deletes the old one. We accept this with Word documents. But when the document is your self-awareness, delete means death. From the perspective of the digital copy, the process is seamless. It remembers sitting in the chair, then a flash, and then waking up in the simulation. It will swear, with 100% conviction, that the transfer worked. It will write emails to your family saying, "I'm alive, it's beautiful here." But the original you, the one who paid for the procedure, was simply murdered. Mind uploading, in this scenario, is nothing more than a way to create a digital memorial that thinks it's human. Stop. Let's pause for a second. I want to play a game with you. I want you to imagine you are standing in a white room. In front of you is a button. A scientist tells you that when you press this button, a perfect copy of you, down to the last atom, will be created on Mars. You press the button, click. A screen lights up. You see Mars you open his eyes. He looks around. He smiles. He calls your wife on the phone and tells her he loves her. He has all your memories up until this exact second. The scientist turns to you and says, "Congratulations. It worked, correct? The mission is a success. You are now on Mars." But you are still standing in the white room on Earth. You look at your hands. You are still here. The scientist then hands you a pistol and says, "Okay, for the teleportation to be complete, we need to destroy the original. Please shoot yourself." Would you do it? The scientist argues, "Why are you hesitating? You are already on Mars. You are safe. This body is just a shell." But you know the truth, don't you? If you pull that trigger, you don't magically wake up on Mars. You just die. The lights go out. The person on Mars is an imposter living your life. This is the reality of mind uploading. It is the Mars room on a global scale. And if you wouldn't pull that trigger in the white room, why would you let a computer do it for you? But let's go deeper. Let's suspend our disbelief. Let's imagine that somehow consciousness does transfer. You close your eyes in the clinic and you truly open them in the digital world. You have achieved immortality. Congratulations. You are now a software program. And this is where the true horror begins. In the physical world, you have human rights. You have bodily autonomy. No one can legally edit your thoughts or delete your memories. But in the digital world, you exist on hardware owned by a corporation. You are data, and data is property. Before you uploaded, you probably clicked agree on a terms of service agreement that was 10,000 pages long. You didn't read it. Nobody reads it. But now, those terms dictate your reality. What happens if the company that hosts your mind goes bankrupt? Do they just unplug the server? Is that considered murder? Or is it just asset liquidation? What if the service moves to a subscription model? Please pay $999 a month to continue existing at high resolution. If your family back in the real world stops paying the bill, what happens? Maybe they don't delete you. Maybe they just downgrade you. They reduce your processing speed. They turn off your ability to see color. They put you in storage mode, where you are conscious, awake, in a dark void, unable to move, waiting for a payment that never comes. And then there's the issue of privacy. Not privacy of your data, but privacy of your mind. Right now, your thoughts are the only thing that is truly private. But if your brain is software, the admins have root access. They can read your thoughts. Worse, they can edit them. Imagine a world where the hosting provider can inject advertisements directly into your memories. You remember loving a specific brand of soda, not because you actually did, but because a line of code was inserted into your childhood memory file. Imagine if they could patch your personality. Let's say you are feeling depressed about being a digital ghost. That's bad for user retention. So they run a script to remove your depression. They delete your sadness, but in doing so, maybe they accidentally delete your empathy or your ability to love. You wouldn't even know it was missing. You would just become a happy, hollow shell, a perfect customer for eternity. We also have to consider the hackers. In the real world, if a hacker steals your identity, it's a hassle. In the digital world, if a hacker gets access to your source code, they can torture you in ways that biological limitations would never allow. They could trap you in a time loop of your worst memory. They could replicate you 1,000 times and sell your copies as NPCs for video games. You could be sold, traded, pirated. You are no longer a person. You are content. Finally, we must face the nature of eternity itself. Let's assume the best-case scenario. The company is ethical, the transfer is perfect, and you have total control. You are now immortal. You can think 1,000 times faster than a biological human. But have you considered what that actually feels like? If your processing speed is accelerated, the outside world will seem frozen. A single day in the real world might feel like 1,000 years to you. You could watch every movie ever made, read every book, learn every language, and only a few minutes of real time would have passed. What happens when you run out of things to do? The human brain was built for struggle. It was evolved to solve problems, to hunt, to survive. Without friction, without the threat of death, does life lose its meaning? We call this the boredom of the gods. After the first 100 years, the simulation is fun. After the first 1,000,000 years, it becomes a prison. And here is the ultimate question. Can you leave? Does the system have an off switch? Can you choose to die? Because if you cannot die, and the system keeps running, you are trapped. If civilization on Earth collapses, and the solar panels keep powering the servers, you could be stuck in a glitching, degrading simulation for eons, driving you into a state of insanity that has no end. Eternal life is only a gift if there is an exit door. Without it, it is not a heaven. It is a waiting room that never closes. Mind uploading is the ultimate gamble. It asks us to bet everything we are, our body, our autonomy, our very definition of self, on a piece of technology that we barely understand. It is a quest driven by our primal fear of the dark. We are so terrified of ceasing to exist that we are willing to risk becoming property, willing to risk becoming copies, willing to risk trapped in a digital box. Perhaps there is a reason we are mortal. Perhaps the fragility of our biology is what gives our life value. The fact that your heart has a limited number of beats is what makes each one precious. If we upload ourselves, we might solve the problem of death. But in the process, we might lose the only thing that makes life worth living, our humanity. So I ask you, if the technology existed tomorrow, if you could step into the machine and leave your mortal body behind, would you press the button? Or would you choose to remain human and accept the end when it comes? Let me know in the comments. And be careful what you wish for. You just might get it forever. Thanks for watching.